after the New York Knicks temporarily walked away on talks Monday night. The Cleveland Cavaliers aggressively pursued and acquired three-time All-Star guard Donovan Mitchell in a trade with the Utah Jazz on Thursday, sources told ESPN. The Cavaliers are sending the Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen, rookie wing Ochai Agbaji, guard Collin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks, 2025, 2027 and 2029, and 2 pick swaps, 2026 and 2028, for Mitchell, sources said. Sexton has agreed on a 4-year, $72 million sign-and-trade deal to join the Jazz, his agent. Klutch Sports CEO Rich Paul told ESPN. The deal transforms the Cavaliers into an Eastern Conference contender with potential staying power. Adding Mitchell to a lineup that includes 2 2022 All-Stars, guard Darius Garland and center Jarrett Allen, and Rookie of the Year runner-up Evan Mobley, who appears destined to become an All-NBA player. As Utah reshapes its roster with off-season trades of All-Star Rudy Gobert and now Mitchell, the franchise has 13 unprotected or lightly protected first-round picks through 2029 and 2 2022 first-round picks, including Kansas Agbaji and 7-footer Walker Kessler, who arrived with 4 first-round picks from Minnesota. Utah plans to continue talks on unloading veterans, including Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley, and could be approaching an Oklahoma City-esque haul of draft assets. Cleveland president of basketball operations Kobe Altman had been in discussions with the Jazz through late last week, but ended talks Friday when the two teams couldn't reach an agreement, sources said. Nevertheless, Altman reached back out to Utah general manager Justin Zanuck on Tuesday morning and started the talks again, sources said. Within 48 hours, they had a deal for Mitchell. New York had the assets Utah preferred and the sides seemed to be inching closer to a trade Sunday night and into Monday. But the Knicks balked on including Quentin Grimes in a trade with R.J. Barrett to acquire Mitchell, sources said. When guard Emmanuel Quickley was proposed as a replacement for Grimes in the trade, Utah wanted 3 unprotected first-round draft picks as part of the package, but New York would only do a 3rd first-round pick that included top 5 protections, sources said. Those packages would have included Milwaukee's 2025 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, 2 pick swaps and 2 expiring contracts from a 3rd team, sources said. New York would have moved out Evan Fournier and first-round pick to a 3rd team to spare Utah taking on Fournier's remaining $37 million, sources said. New York and Utah discussed numerous iterations of a Mitchell trade, including a significant Knicks initial offer in early July prior to Mitchell Robinson signing his contract extension. Near the start of talks in early July, New York offered a package that would have included Barrett, Obi Toppin, Robinson and 3 unprotected first-round pick negotiation with Barrett's agent, Bill Duffy, on a rookie contract extension and set Monday night as a deadline with the Jazz to get a deal, or pause talks to finalize a new deal with Barrett, sources said. Barrett's deal, 4 years and worth up to $120 million. Duffy told ESPN, added a poison pill provision to his contract until next July and would have forced the Knicks and Jazz to restart talks with new deal parameters based on the extension. New York planned to continue pursuing Mitchell, sources said, but the Jazz pivoted to the Cleveland discussions and never again engaged the Knicks in talks this week, sources said. The Knicks had made a calculated gamble that they could still get a deal done for Mitchell. Born in the New York area, Mitchell had been enthusiastic about the possibility of playing for the Knicks. Sources said, Mitchell became available in trade talks after the Jazz moved Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves in July. Mitchell, 25, has averaged 23.9 points and 4.5 assists per game during his 5-year career with the Jazz, and he has been an All-Star each of the past 3 seasons. He has 4 years and $134.9 million remaining on the maximum extension he signed during the 2020 offseason, though the final season is a player option for $37.1 million. Utah has made the playoffs the past 6 seasons, the longest current streak in the Western Conference, but has not advanced past the second round during that span. The organization has undergone major changes in the wake of last season's first-round exit against the Dallas Mavericks, including the resignation of coach Quinn Snyder, the hiring of Will Hardy to replace him, and the trades of Gobert and starting forward Royce O'Neal. The NBA G League unveiled its 2022-23 schedule on Thursday, and along with it an interesting wrinkle for the upcoming season. Every G League game that goes to overtime will end not with a timed period, but instead with an elam ending. Under the elam ending format, the game clock will be shut off during the overtime period, and teams must hit a final target score in order to win. The target score will be set by adding 7 points to the game score at the end of regulation. For example, if the score is tied at 100 after 4 quarters, the final target score in overtime would be 107 points. The first team to score 7 points in overtime wins. The G League will also employ the elam ending format during its annual Las Vegas showcase in December, when all 30 teams participate. The fourth quarter of each game will be played to a final target score of 25 points added to the leading team's score after 3 quarters. For example, if the score of a game after 3 quarters is 90-85, the final target score would be 115 points, meaning the first team to reach it wins the game. The NBA adopted the elam ending format for its All-Star game beginning in 2020 in Chicago, after it became popular from its use in the basketball tournament over the past several years. While it being utilized in the G League is far from a guarantee it will ever be used in NBA regular season or playoff games in any fashion. The G League has been used as a testing ground for potential changes in the NBA over the past several seasons. Meanwhile, this season will also be the first time the G League ignites. A team that includes several 2023 NBA draft prospects, and the Mexico City Capitanes will play a full 50-game schedule, 24 home games, 24 road games and 2 at the annual showcase in Las Vegas. The Ignite will play their home games in Las Vegas this season after relocating from California. The Capitanes will play their full schedule in Mexico City, with the first G League game ever played there taking place on November 6, when Mexico City hosts the Rio Grande Valley Vipers.